Okay, so I'm taking my first shot at doing a video here. Some people were interested in how I made the tree, and so I took my rock, I did a base coat of white just where the lighter color would be. I have my paint mixed with some Floetrol as if I were doing a pour, so it's the same consistency as that, and I can show that towards the end. And so I'm going to do I work from the top down, so I'm putting a nice coat on the top. I want it to be a nice layer because I also want to be able to drag through to create the tree and the roots. The last one was yellow, red, and black, and this one's going to be green and purple and black. The white is just so the green pops more than it would if it was just on a beige stone. It's totally up to you whether or not you would choose to do the base coat. My base is also mixed with Floetrol. You could just use plain white acrylic, but this is what I happen to have mixed up. So, but that particular layer is dried. So I'm just gonna rinse my brush in water. I'm wiping it out on a paper towel to the side. And then I'm moving on to the purple, which is a Deco Art Amethyst Metallic. I'm putting this one on next. Also kind of a heavy layer, and this one, it doesn't have to be in a straight line at all. After all, it's art. So, you know, a little wobbly, a little organic, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, if you do something, you don't like it, and the paint's still wet, I've been known to just take it to the sink and wash it off. I mean, that's if I really, really don't like it. And sometimes I'm undecided, and then I just have to pour over it later. So I figure that's good enough for the layer of purple there. Almost dipped my brush in the green. That would not have been cool. Again, rinsing out my brush, moving on to the black. I'll work my way up the purple line, but I'm just going to start at the bottom here and then go up. So you can see my paint is pretty wet and thick. And the Floetrol does take longer to dry, so these rocks, you have to let them cure as if you did a pour. It's not as fast, so you can't seal these as fast as if you had done just a painted acrylic. So, took too much purple off with that one, so, alright, and again with that, so. And sometimes the more you screw with it, you know, the worse off you are. So, I'm just going to leave that the way it is, and then I'm going to just kind of dip the outer part of my brush, and I'm making a streak up for the tree. And then I'm wiping the paint off because I want the tree to be mostly black. And then I'll be pulling the colors through. And rotating the brush and pulling it out. wiping it off, dipping a little on the side. Making some kind of thicker branches. Pretty sure my arm's in the way there. One more branch and then I'm moving on to the toothpicks. I have an assortment, one for each color. So, probably concludes my brush event here. So now, I've got my purple toothpick. So I'm going to pull up for the purple, and then I've got my paper towel here to wipe this off with. So up, and I might dip more in the purple. Dip it. I've got my little paint here in case my purple wasn't quite wet enough. And probably don't want to have too much coffee before you do this. And then I'm just going to wipe this off. And then the green one, I'm taking the green stick now because I'm going to pull it down. Too much green. I'm just going to dip in that one again. Try and pull some paint over. I'll just take it off the lid here. Now I'm dipping back in. So it looks like the roots grow up and down. Wiping the purple off the end of the Q-tip, going back into the purple paint there, or the green paint rather. I just mixed the whole thing of green, which is emerald green, which is the Majestic Touch Fine Art Studio acrylic. Which also is nice if you're doing like ocean colors. So okay, and then my black toothpick, I'm going to, I'll come back to doing this one. I'm going to come up to this. Drop my toothpick. And again, drop my toothpick. Okay, and now I'm going to get my purple toothpick back. I'm going to pull this down. And wipe them off. In between. My tree's looking, the trunk's looking a little more purple than black, so I'm going to add a little more black up there, or through that. So, and I see that I've made a nice little green dot over here, or a black dot, but it's still wet, so I can cover that up with a little bit of green paint. And then I need kind of to get the aerial view here to see if there's anything else I want to do. And I think a little bit more, it's hard to tell with the sheen. But I think I'd like a few more green roots to stand out. Okay, I think I'm going to call that good.